Welcome to this week's edition of the Sports Scoop Coaches Show. Joining me is my trusty right, oh no, I guess it's not. Filling in for Ted Hammond today is...
The big monkey.
The big monkey from Le Sueur.
The BM, he's gotten much bigger since last week, baby.
Another one of Joel Hayford's relatives.
Yep. Come down from Le Sueur and the Minnesota River. Come down there, and he's looking for his buddy, and he doesn't see him over there again. So,
well, at least he's got his winter hat on, so he can keep warm.
I guess sleigh and cutter days. Hafe is at sleigh and cutter days. They got bingo going on, and so he's over there trying to win the big bucks. So. Okay, we're ready to roll.
Well, we'll move right into the basketball scene, and a tough week for the Bulldogs, Teddy.
Yep.
A 3-loss week. You've lost 7 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
You're 3-15, and that middle loss had to be sharp.
It was sharp. We had to adjust our lineup on Tuesday night. We went to BA, and they have all the youngsters over there, and unfortunately they shot out to a big lead right away. And I got some stats here somewhere, trying to keep track of all these games 3 and 4 days.
So, what happened to your nice notebook?
Well, it's right here, but it's still easier to take it here with all this stuff. Okay. So the final score was 76-54, and it was at BA, and I told you, a tough place to play.
Tough place to play.
And it was, but we had 20 turnovers and 9 assists. Usually we try to go for one and one, and when you have double turnovers versus assists, then you got some problems, and we did that night. But one bright spot was we had Sam Eustace. Now we started him first time. He's a sophomore, and he came in the game, and he's nervous as all get out. First time he ever started a varsity game, and came through with us was 13 rebounds, and for us that's a lot of rebounds. And we had some good scoring out of Josh Janicki and Brandon Sack. They had 16 and 14 apiece, but these little kids from BA, they're set for the future.
They're young.
Oh man, yeah. They got two freshmen to start, and one was the leading scorer, that's Jack Clark, and the Clark name is pretty familiar over there.
They had a Clark a couple years ago that was a big scorer.
Yeah, so that was Tuesday night, and Thursday night we had to travel to Alden. All the games were on the road this week, and that was a big game because they hadn't won a game in the conference, and they had a senior night, and I told the kids the reason they put the senior night there is because they figured they're going to beat you guys, so let's ruin their senior night. Well, they came out just hotter than a pistol, and they had this little guy we didn't even have on the radar. He hits his first 3 threes. So at halftime, we're down by, 14 at halftime. So they said we're going to go full man the second half. We just got to wear those guys down. And we did, but unfortunately, for the first time ever, I've had a team shot 75 shots. Never had that in my whole career coaching, 30-some years. We put up 75, and we shot 30%. So you think, with all that, maybe we still could have pulled the ball game out. But the final score was 71-61. We kept coming back to within 4 or 6. And then all of a sudden the big guys, they had 2 big guys, 6'4", 6'3", and then they just put in a bucket, and then they went to free throw line quite a bit because we were fouling at the end, trying to get the lead back, and wasn't a good time over there at Alden. So we ended up falling in that one. Like I said, it was 71-61. We usually don't win ball games when the other team gets in the 70s. So we haven't lost our attitude. These kids are playing hard. We had Brandon Sack and Jeremiah Sack came through with 15 and 14, 2 senior guards, and we need them to score if we're going to be competitive. So we were competitive, but we just didn't get the win there. Then we had to turn right around on Friday night, go to Belle Plaine, and they got Narveson, and he was the difference in the ball game. He had 23, and he's just an athlete. And so our goal was not let him have a dunk, okay? Our also goal was this will show them we can play ball, and we did. We were down by 2. And then with like a fraction of a second left, they had a bucket. They got a rebound and put it in. So they went up by 4 at half. And we were playing a real tight 2-3 zone and playing real scrappy. Unfortunately, let's see, they went to the free throw line how many times? 28 times, and we only went 7. Okay, we were 6 or 7, which is darn good shooting. But they got there 28 times, and that was basically the difference in the ball game. And it wasn't so much the officiating, but it was pretty inconsistent. So we had a chance at the end. We're down by 4. No, we're down by 6 with about 2 minutes to go, and Andrew King drove baseline. It looked like he got fouled. He put in the bucket, got fouled, and they called a charge. So he's going to the line. Looks like they're going to cut that baby down, and boom, all of a sudden they go to the other. They get the ball back, and then they went into a delay game because we were behind, and we had to foul them at the end. So that was really a good game. We played as hard as we can, and it's probably as good as we can play, and we lost to 12. They had Steyer and Narveson were the 2, and then Narveson got his dunk. He's on the front of a press, and he stole the ball, went in and put it in. The crowd goes nuts. So, we didn't get our, that would have been a nice little deal, but he didn't get his dunk, because every game he gets one somewhere. And then they tried some backdoor picks where on the zone they tried to alley it up over the top, and we took those away. That was fun. So all in all, again, we lost the ball game. Josh, we had 3 scores in double figures. Josh Janicki and Brandon and Waseca again. So that's looking good. We're getting consistent scoring from those guys, and we need that just so we got somebody to go to at the end of the ball game. And again, Sam Eustace came down. He had for the week he averaged 13 boards for us, and we need boards. Yeah, it was really great. So it came down to basically free throw shooting, like I said, and then that charge call we could have gotten a lot closer at the end. So that was an unbelievable whirlwind, 3 games in 4 days, and all of them on the road. And bless these kids; they haven't lost they're competing as hard as they can, and we're doing what we can do, and we're building. We always say you gotta pay your dues before you can collect dividends. So we're paying our dues. And now this week we got 3 games again. So you figure we had 1/4 of our season in these 2 weeks. It's just unbelievable. Yep. Okay, so Monday we got Alden again.
Revenge.
Yep. Well, this will be the rubber game because we beat them early.
1-1.
Yep. So that'll be the rubber game at our place. So we're looking forward to that. And then Thursday we got to go to Loyola, and if we could pull an upset there, that'd show that we've improved quite a bit since the last time we played them. And then on Saturday we go to Cleveland. Everybody in the conference goes to Cleveland, and they play the ranked teams that play each other. So 9 and 10, and we're the 7th seed right now because we beat Lake Crystal.
Now, Monday and Thursday are those the showcase? These are the showcase.
Yep, and
right
it counts to your conference record. So it'd be nice to get 2 or 3 or 3 out of 3, and then we'd shoot up the middle of the conference by the end of the season. But bless these guys, like I said, we could have just mailed it in, and they could have caved and said, hey, we just go out there and play. But they're playing hard, they're playing with a purpose, and that's all the coach can ask. But we really need to get this monkey off the back. That would be kind of fun to do this week.
Just a little sidelight, Teddy. Mr. Narveson from Belle Plaine is going to join Nick Dufault at Southwest State next year, but he's going for football.
Yeah,
Narveson's going to play football at Southwest
He's
State.
a heck of a basketball player, but one of the officials told me when he went by, he said, he's a prima donna. I said, yeah, he is. He says, he's always chirping for a call. He says, well, the only call. I said, why don't you tee him up then? I said, if you keep chirping for a call. I said, give him a call. Official didn't follow through on that.
But it was a good suggestion.
Yeah, there's a guy named Griffin. You ever hear of a guy named Griffin?
Yeah.
Okay. His son was the official. He's about my age, and I'm not old as Griffin guys. But and he said to say hi to Gene Glenn. So hi to Gene Glenn out there, okay?
NRHEG, they have won 7 of their last 8 games now. Teddy, they are 15-7 for the year, but they ran into Maple River on Tuesday.
Unfortunately for them.
Lost by 17. I think they've played the Eagles 3 times, and that was the closest they've come, with a 17-point game. They defeated Triton in an overtime game on Thursday, and they talked to Pat, and he said Triton just shot the lights out.
We got Triton coming up.
And they crushed Medford on Friday. A couple of nice key games coming up in the Gopher Conference this week. Thursday, WEM will be at NRHEG, and the Bucks won the first meeting by 11, so we'll see if the home court makes a little difference. WEM, Jeff Wagner's crew, 7 straight wins, Teddy. They're 16-3 for the year.
Big win. They
just hammered USC, racked up 90 points in that game, and then they bounced the Faribault BA team that defeated you 74-60. So they're scoring a lot of points again.
That double-double from Groom and Zach Olson against BA.
Tuesday, Maple River is at WEM, and that'll be for all the marbles in the Gopher.
Is it Tuesday?
Yep,
okay.
Tuesday night.
All right, because I thought it was Monday. I don't know why.
62-49, Maple River won the first meeting.
Yep.
So, be interesting to see.
But that was at Maple River.
That was at Maple River.
So
and the Waseca Blue Jays, they are 14-6 now overall. They won 3 of their last 4. They had just 1 game this week. They went down to Blue Earth. Kobe Swanson, the ex-Blue Jay, is coaching at Blue Earth now. The Bucks' only chance was to try and hold the ball, and they did most of the first half.
Right.
Waseca ends up winning 63-41, and Kobe's got, I hope he's in it for the long run, because their B squad wasn't very good either.
Yeah.
So you got to be there a while. Big matchup Tuesday for the Jays. Big section matchup. Mankato East comes to town. And although East is only like 12-8, they're playing Big 9 foes every week. And I would think maybe the winner of that game will get the 2nd seed in the section.
I'd guess you're right.
Marshall will get 1. And,
and Marshall will definitely get 1.
Yep. And I think the winner of this game will probably get the 2nd seed unless you would collapse down the stretch. So that'll be a couple of big games Tuesday, as we mentioned. Maple River at Waterville and Cato East at Waseca. So if you're a basketball fan, be a good night to go out and watch some games close by. The women, the girls basketball, and Teddy, I don't know if you and the girls coach are having talks, but they've now lost 4 straight. They were within a game of the 500 mark. Now they're down to 7-13. They lost 4 games last week.
Yep.
A 4-game week. They lost to New Richland 84-46.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
They lost to Faribault BA. They lost to Grenada Huntley East Change / Truman / whatever. And they lost to Belle Plaine 66-62.
Great game.
So,
Great game. It was tied coming down the end, and I guess the name that probably won the ball game for Belle Plaine, Narveson.
Narveson,
Yep.
Narveson
freshman,
girl too,
freshman, and
Oh,
she was a real deal, solidly built, and it was a fun game to watch. We had a back-to-back, girls and boys, and you know how I love
Your
those.
favorites.
My favorite, yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, on the way home, there was nobody left on the bus except the varsity boys. We went there with full bus, and then everybody takes off early. It's supposed to be, watch each other play, but it doesn't quite work that way.
So the Bulldogs 7-13. Thursday they will travel to Maple River in their next outing. NRHEG, I still think this has been a surprise team this year, Teddy. I didn't think they would be this good. They've won 8 straight games now. They're 17-4 for the year.
Yep.
They defeated JWP, they defeated Maple River, and they defeated Medford last week. And kudos to Marnie Wagner. Let's see, Maddie is fire, Marnie is ice. Ice Wagner, she became the 3rd Wagner sister to top the 1,000-point mark in her career.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Well, especially at their age.
Yep.
How many are they going to get when they're still young?
Both just juniors, so they'll have another year to go. The Panthers Thursday will play at WEM, and that'll be a good one. The Bucks won the first meeting by 9 points. And this one will be in Waterville. Gabe Hauer's crew, the WEM Buccaneers, 12 straight wins for the Lady Bucks. They defeated USC 49-40. They defeated Faribault BA 57-32. Monday they will play at Maple River. Maybe that's the one you saw that was
That
close.
was the one. Okay, thanks. That's the one.
16-3 for Gabe's crew, and as I mentioned last week, when they played Waseca, they were very impressive. So he's really got them playing well.
The defense, that's what he strives in. Their shooting might go up and down, but that defense is solid.
I always tell Gabe he must have Wags come in and preach defense, because I said, you never played it in high school, Gabe. How can you teach it that well?
You got a point there.
Waseca, the Lady Jays, Joan Conway's crew, 11-8 overall. They defeated Blue Earth 53-40 in a game that was much closer than the score. It was basically tied with about 3-4 minutes left, and the Jays pulled away down the stretch. And then yesterday afternoon they played at Mankato West and lost 57-50. And I think the Jays had a 1-point lead with about 3 minutes left, and West just went nuts at the free throw line down the stretch.
They had highlights on the TV last night.
Oh, okay.
Channel 12, and it looked great game. Great game. They had the shopper, I guess, from West.
She's a good one.
Yep.
Tuesday, the Lady Jays will travel to Mankato East in another non-conference game. The hockey team, Steady.
Yo!
Hard to believe, but it's tournament time for the girls.
Unbelievable.
The girls finished the regular season 14-10-1. They won 8 of their last 11 games. They closed out the year with a 5-1 win over Fairmont. And just to show you how tough their section is, 14-10-1. Right now they're in 6th place out of 8 teams.
Unbelievable.
And if they do seed, they will seed later today, so you'll know where you play. Wednesday is the first round of section play, but I just looked at the standings as they were right now. Waseca is 6th. Right now Northfield is 3rd, so they may go to Northfield. If they would get the 5th seed, they will probably go to Faribault. So they're going to be playing on the road Wednesday night. And the boys hockey team, they're struggling. They are 6-14 overall. They've lost 7 of their last 8 games, Teddy.
No.
They lost to Redwood Valley 7-3, and yesterday they went down to La Crescent and lost 6-1. Tuesday they will get a return match with Redwood Valley coming to Waseca. the gymnastics team, and Teddy failed us with his report.
All I heard is they got injuries.
Thanks, Ted.
I heard they got injuries, okay? At least they got something.
They only had one meet this week, and you think Teddy could come through for us? No.
No.
Teddy was in a 3-loss week himself. We can't expect him to.
In 4 days. I
I
can't be everywhere.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
The Jays were scheduled to participate against St. Peter Friday, and even Andy, the magician of the technology world, could not find anything, so we don't know how that did.
Ziggy didn't come through for him. Okay.
The Jays were 5-5 going into that one, and Thursday they will have St. James coming to town. And our wrestlers, Teddy, to wrap up the local scene.
Yep.
The Blue Jays had a good week, and Waseca is the only winning team among the 3 area wrestling teams. They are 9-6 for the year. They defeated St. Peter and Mankato East on Tuesday. They came back on Friday, hit the road. They lost to Hutch and defeated Glencoe Silver Lake. And then yesterday they were down at the Pine Island Invite, and none of us technological wizards could find anything on that.
See,
so.
Talk about me, but talk to the main man over there.
Yeah, I know it.
Doesn't come through.
I know it.
Okay.
So the Jays 9-6. Thursday they will have St. James coming to town for a duel.
If you get a chance, okay, go watch those Milbrett brothers and the Sampson kids, tougher than none. And you got the Kushel and you got Winiger. Hardly gets a chance to wrestle because everybody forfeits against them. They're fun to watch.
You bet. The Grizzlies, WM/JWP. They are 6-10 for the year. They split on Tuesday. They defeated Hayfield and they lost to Tri-City United. Then yesterday they held their annual Mike Fashionette Memorial Tournament, and all they had was Simley, who's a wrestling power, Jackson County, who are wrestling power, Dover Iota finished second. I think it was Simley, Dover Iota, Jackson, but the Grizzlies had a nice showing. They finished 4th out of 8 teams with 104 points, and I think they were only about 10 points behind Jackson for the 3rd spot. So they did have a couple champs, didn't they, Teddy?
Yep.
Reed Ayers.
Yep, at 145.
And Andrew Larson.
At 285. And
Wow.
I'm just thinking, whoa, that's a load. You know, you get 2 guys on the mat that weight.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Thursday they will wrestle Blooming Prairie and St. Clair. And the NRHEG Wrestling Panthers, they are 9-12 for the season. They lost to Maple River 45-30, and I read a little about that match. They had some injury or sickness kind of in the upper weights when it was really close, and they tried to flip-flop a few weights around, and it ended up costing them. They lost 45-30, and then they went to Lakeville North yesterday for a quadrangular. They defeated Lakeville North. They lost to Stewartville and Hastings to go 1-2. Some pretty good competition for little NRHEG.
Pretty big schools to go against.
9-12 overall. They will wrestle Friday night when Medford comes to town.
Alrighty, daddy.
Our local scene taken care of.
All right, let's go regional.
Moving into the big time. MSU, Minnesota State, Mankato.
Boy.
How about the men's basketball team? They played 2 games. One was a double overtime. The second was an overtime.
I can pull your hair out of your head. Holy cow.
They ended up with a split. They beat Northern State from Aberdeen 119-115 in double overtime. Don't see that in college too often.
And a guy named Pendleton go off for what?
42.
Yep.
And then last night they lost to Moorhead State 94-89 in overtime, and I believe Pendleton had 28 more, so he had a pretty nice weekend.
They showed this kid from, where would they play last night? Who did they play?
Moorhead State.
Kid Kletchner or something, and he was hitting threes like you couldn't believe. Jeez.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah. The women basketball team at MSU, they are 6-14 for the year. They lost to both Northern State and Moorhead State. The men and women are on the road next weekend. They play at Mary and at Minot State.
Okay. And Mary.
And I see...
you got Joseph too, or just Mary?
Just Mary.
Okay.
And I see the MSU basketball coach signed a
Morgenthaler.
Nice 5-year extension. So
yep, he loves it, and they love him, and he wins. He wins.
The men's hockey team, the Mavericks, 13-9-5. And they were up in that North Star Cup Challenge this weekend. They lost to St. Cloud State 5-4.
Yeah, it was a great game. You watch it? It was on TV.
I didn't see it, but I read this morning that they hadn't given up a power play goal in the last 42 opportunities, and they gave up 3 or 4, didn't they?
I think it was 4.
And,
That was the winning
including
goal.
the winner.
Winning goal was yeah.
They will play the Gophers today.
Ooh.
Because the Gophers were upset by Bemidji State 4-2. So the Gophers and MSU will play today. Next weekend, it's a big showdown, I believe, in that conference. MSU and Bowling Green comes to Mankato for Friday, Saturday games.
Now, would you name Bemidji State? Would you name them the Beavers?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't understand. Okay.
The women's hockey team, Teddy, 3-21-4, and they're playing people tough.
And they're playing very well.
They lost 2 one-goal games to the Gophers last weekend. They lost to North Dakota this weekend 2-1 in both games, and the second one was a shootout.
The goalie, I mean, the girls, we're talking about Waseca girls, all you got to do is get a hot goaltender, then you can carry a long ways in the playoffs.
You bet. They'll have Minnesota Duluth coming to town next weekend. And the wrestling team, we got to throw that in this week, Teddy. They're 8-3, having a nice year. They defeated Augustana. And then yesterday they had a 5-match winning streak snapped. They lost by 1 point to Upper Iowa.
Whenever we leave a huddle, sometimes we'll say, when all is said and done, Bulldogs are number 1. The kids will yell 1. But sometimes we'll say, when all is said and done, you only have to win by, and they go 1.
Yep.
Well, there it is. You got to win by 1.
1 point loss.
Yep.
8-3 for the Mavs. Is Nemo still helping out with that program?
He's down in Needles, California.
Okay.
He got a house here in Reen, and they're just loving it down there. So he went up till Christmas. And then they found a place to house sit or something. I don't know how they do it. But he's down there with Muta Kings. They're only about a half hour apart. And Von Holtens went down and visited him. And it's just like Janesville down there in California and Vegas. Or Havasu City. That's where Muta Kings
Good for him. He deserves it.
He does. He and Reen are great people.
Saturday, St. Cloud State will be at MSU for a wrestling match. The Gusties, the Golden Gusty men hoopsters, had a great week. They defeated St. Mary's, Bethel, and McAllister. That improves them to 9-10, chasing that 500 mark. They will play Wednesday, unfortunately, at St. Thomas.
Yep, rope. Yep.
Booyah.
Yeah. all right, get back to Andy's got to get this show under control here.
The women's basketball team, they defeated Bethel and McAllister. They're 14-5, having a nice season. The Gusty women, they have St. Thomas coming to town on Wednesday night. The men's hockey team, they're only 4-11-4. They split with Concordia over the weekend. They'll have St. Mary's next week, as do the women, who are 7-8-4, and they split with Concordia as well. So
I got a question for you in hockey,
sir.
okay? How do you ever fumigate those locker rooms? I mean, you work in the arena, right?
Yeah.
Well, when you did,
I don't go in the locker rooms.
Okay, but do you ever had a place that smells like that ever? Oh my God, folks out there, before you go to your grave, go in a hockey locker room and see what it's like.
Our producer's snorting back there. He's liking this, Teddy. They skate for an hour. The shirts are wringing wet, and all they do is hang them up.
Yep.
In the locker room.
And then their equipment just absorbs.
Shut the door tight.
Wow. Okay, real quick. There's a guy invented like a wash machine that's like it's like a Ferris wheel.
Andy.
Well, anyhow, you put all your gear.
Let's do some rapping, Teddy.
Get going. Guys making $1 million, you don't want to hear about it, okay?
The Golden Gophers, Teddy.
Yes.
Wait a minute, I want to hear about that wash.
Okay, finish your
A guy
story.
said, hockey equipment needs to be washed every now and then. So he gives you a bag, and you take the bag, and the whole team takes it to this place. He puts them in this wash machine. It goes through the water as it goes up and down, okay? And then it dredges all that crap out of your hockey gear. Well, he said there's so much sludge, he has to drain the tub about 4 or 5 times just on one team. But he said it actually smells great in their locker rooms because they wash the gear. So, okay, that's it. I hope the guy's a millionaire because he came up with something people needed.
Yeah. Golden Gopher men's basketball team, 6-16, 11 straight losses. Lost to Purdue by 4 points, lost to Indiana by 6 points. I guess they're getting moral victories now, Teddy.
Well, they could have beat Indiana, and that was at Indiana. Indiana
Yep.
made about 3 threes, and they'd usually average 10 a game. So Dorsey, he looked really good. Dorsey and Murphy, you might remember those two names, okay?
Yep. Murphy, they got to find a way to keep him on the floor.
Yeah.
He spends more time sitting with foul trouble than he does playing, and he's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
Thursday, they will be at Northwestern.
See, we want to get to the next. We want to get the next conference win before they get their conference win.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's our goal.
Yep. The women's basketball Gophers, 14-6 for the year. They have 4 straight wins now. They defeated Illinois in their only game of the week, and I think they were down 16 points in the first half against Illinois. And Rachel Bannum did her sleepwalk through the first half, and okay, now I'm the show in the second half, and scored about 23 points in the second half, and they came back to beat Illinois.
In that zone.
Yep.
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
They are. Teddy,
Yep.
I told Andy before you came, there can't be another female basketball team in the country that plays worse defense than the Gophers.
Okay.
You see some, I kid you not, I watched Illinois, they go up for a 10-point shot, and there's not a Gopher in the screen.
A 10-point shot.
A 10-foot shot.
Okay.
Jumper, and there's not a Gopher in the television screen.
Well, where'd they go?
I have no idea. And all Stallings does is after they score an easy one, goes, let's go.
You don't have a big screen TV, do you?
I got a big screen TV, and there's no one there, Teddy. They will play today at Michigan.
Okay. Well, you can outscore them. What do you need defense?
Men's hockey team, they thought they had things turned around. They're 13-11 for the year, but they lost to Bemidji State, as we mentioned yesterday, 4-2. They'll play the Mavericks today in the third place game of the North Star Cup Challenge.
I just love that North Star name. I just wish they were still up in the cities.
The women's hockey team, who the Mavs played to one goal, lost twice. They're 24-3, Teddy, with 8 straight wins. They defeated Bemidji State twice over the weekend, both 2-1. They aren't killing people, but they're winning.
Come up the right side.
They have a big battle against North Dakota next weekend, coming to Minneapolis.
Now, what's their name now? It's not the Fighting
No,
Sioux
it's
anymore.
not.
The Nanooks or something?
I don't know. I remember seeing it.
They had a big contest to vote what you wanted, but like, I don't know, Nimrods or Nanooks.
Doesn't see the same without the Fighting Sioux.
No, it never will be.
And the Gopher wrestling team, they are 7-7 this year, but they lost to Iowa during the week, 34-6.
Remember Dan Gable?
I remember Dan Gable well.
I do too.
They will be at Northwestern and at Wisconsin this week.
Okay.
By the way, Teddy, you didn't comment on
Oh, I didn't see it.
my Badger shirt today.
I'm sorry. Okay. Well, hey, the Badgers are coming on in basketball.
Minnesota Timberwolves, Teddy, 14-34 overall. They lost to Cleveland. They lost to Oklahoma City. They lost to Utah.
But they're good games.
Better.
Okay. Well, Cleveland was an excellent game.
Yep.
Hey, they're there. Oklahoma City, all of a sudden Kevin Durant says, enough of this stuff. And it was tied, I think, with like 2 minutes to go, and then all of a sudden Durant just goes off at the end. Shows why he's getting the big bucks.
They're getting better.
Yep.
But they got to play for 4 quarters instead of 3.5.
I think Zach LaVine had 35.
Yep.
That's
And Cat went off for about a 30-14 day the other day.
So you look at that, and Wiggins, and I didn't see Peck much. Did you see Peck much?
No.
Okay.
Peck just kind of sits a lot and sports his tattoos now.
And collects his money.
Collects his paycheck.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Wild, 23-17-9 overall.
Boy, they're frustrated.
They lost to the Coyotes 2-1 in their only game of the week, and now they're in the midst of the All-Star break right now. The game, I believe, is today.
Yeah.
And they will return to action Tuesday when they go to New York, to face the Islanders.
Didn't they kind of tinker with the game, with this All-Star game, where they're going to go like 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 or something?
I don't know.
Score's going to be like 195.
Yeah, why did they
or
even
something.
put a goalie?
Yeah,
Why don't they just let them play?
Play ice hockey out in a pond somewhere. But no, I want to bring up one with the Coyote game. The Wild dominated for 2 periods. It was like the shots are 20-5. Okay, they take a 1-goal lead, Charlie Coyle. They got a 1-goal lead with a minute to go, and they're on the power play. The guy from Coyotes just takes a penalty, and he scores a short-handed goal. Coyotes do. Then they go to the overtime. They don't score. They go to shootout. They lose. There's a game you really need to have. Just going into break, and then they're there for us. But they sure are fun to watch.
Couple of other points. Our trusty producer found that Dave Abel, the Waseca track and field coach, received what was it, Andy?
Oh, didn't it?
District Coach of the Year, State Coach of the Year,
State Coach.
State Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Abe. His boys won the state title last year, and that's probably why he got the award.
Well, probably also because Jeannie Swanson was Principal of the Year for Minnesota.
Oh, was she?
Yep. So she's hats off to Jeannie because that's quite an award with all the principals you had in the whole state. And just the last thing they had was cancer for coaches. Okay, or coaches for cancer. I guess I should get that right. And Joni and the girls and everybody went out and they raised like $9,000. I don't know if you saw that when they had the game. And now you got all these coaches on TV with the college coaches doing the sneakers and everything else. But hey, hats off to Dave and to Jeannie.
You bet. A couple of heavyweight basketball games yesterday, Teddy.
Yes.
Oklahoma and LSU, supposedly the top two players in the nation.
Yep.
And Simmons for LSU, I think if he wants to be the top guy, they got to turn him loose a little. He took less than 10 shots.
And they said the record's like 2-10 when he takes less than 10 shots. Yeah, that didn't make sense.
No.
You know, so you got number one team coming into your place, and but it was a great game.
Yeah, and those guys can light her up. That Okie guy can light it up, can he?
Yes, he can.
Even though his teeth are a little bucky.
Come on.
And then last night, Kansas and Kentucky.
Is that finally over with?
At Kansas, and what a place to play a game. That's got to be so much fun.
When Jay Billis is talking about the hair on your neck standing up, he said, and that guy's been through everything, you know, being a Duke and everything. And then I watched it. If it hadn't been for the foul trouble for Kentucky, I think they would have won it. But you know, how many in a row now? 35 in a row at home?
The field house, yep.
Unreal.
Kansas ended up winning it in overtime. Just a great college atmosphere.
It was.
We got to talk maybe a little bit, Teddy, about the Super Bowl coming up a week from today.
Is it really?
Carolina and Denver.
Yep. I thought we were going to talk about their commercials.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Isn't that what everybody watches for nowadays?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of the swagger for the Carolina? You like that or not? No? Okay. We're traditionalists. We're old timers. Yeah, I say you do let your play do the talking. You don't need to sit in the sidelines and
act like you've scored before.
Yeah.
Like it's not your first touchdown in fifth grade.
Not your first rodeo, whatever that means.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm completely. I guess if I had to pick, I'd pick Carolina, but I'm hoping like heck Denver can win one for Peyton and let him ride into the sunset.
When you figure, I say this is my first rodeo. How many people actually been to a rodeo that say that? Yeah. Nobody. I don't know why they even use it. Okay. This isn't my first bath or something like that, but no, they got to use some stupid thing. You been to rodeo, Andy?
Frontier Days, 1976, with the Waseca Band.
Oh my God!
All right, Andy.
Holy cow!
Andy.
Yeah.
How about that?
Hasn't been a horse can't be broken or whatever can't be rode, and hasn't been a cowboy can't be thrown. Okay.
And Twin Fest is going on yesterday and today, and I just thought it was so sad watching Rod Carew, one of the greatest pure hitters of all time. Twins guy is 70 years old. He suffered a massive heart attack playing golf.
Yeah.
And they had him on the news and the sports shows, and he was talking, and he pulls out a battery pack, which basically keeps him going while he's waiting for a transplant. But I see in the paper today he's planning on being at spring training and teach a little hitting and base running.
He could hit.
He's sweet.
How many times did he steal home that one year? 7 or something?
7. Yeah. He was sweet.
He was something.
So congrats, Rod's still ticking.
Yep.
Even if he needs a little help ticking, but hopefully he'll get a transplant in the future and live for many years.
What was that? Timex takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Yep. Keep PB.
He's a good bunter, too.
Yes, he was.
Bunter. Teddy, anything else? Any slaying cutter news?
There's a big article in the paper in the shopper last week. It's 2 pages. It's got all the events in there. I think the parade's next weekend. We got Groundhog's Day coming up. I see my shadow right now.
My 25th wedding anniversary.
Oh my gosh! You see your shadow, and you got what? Another 7 years of marriage, or what? How's that work?
Yeah. You may increase that to 10 now that you brought in that whipped cream.
Yep. For you folks out there, we got Croom Caucus right after the show today. Look out, baby.
That'll do it for this week's show. Thanks to our producers, Steve and Hudson. Thanks to my right-hand man. The big monkey disappeared and Teddy came back.
Yep.
And thanks to you for watching.
Happy trails to you.
We'll see you all next week.